Hey, what's up? Welcome to Mahogany Sweets. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I came back with another video that I have for you guys. So, I want to talk about this article that I read. In the article, it was saying that due to the coronavirus, due to civil unrest with racial tensions, and with government tyranny, that gun sales have skyrocketed, and 40% of those sales are first-time gun owners and first-time gun buyers. Well, I actually fall into that category of the 40% who is a first-time gun owner and gun buyer. And I wanted to come and speak with you guys because I feel that this is very important, and it was notable of what's going on right now, which is why they made the article. Due to the pandemic, we know a pandemic has collapsed pretty much the economy. I know that they are giving out stimulus checks, but there still has been a collapse in work. A lot of people are out of work. You have some people who are being assisted through the government, and maybe they aren't receiving what they needed. Anyway, my point is, through a pandemic where things shut down, viruses going around, people are getting sick, people are out of work, that leads to more theft, that leads to more crime. So I would understand why guns increase because of that. Then we also have the issue of racial tensions and civil unrest. We are in a time where racial tensions are yet again, because this isn't the first time, but they are yet again at an all-time high, where there is a dividing line of white supremacists feeling the need to bulk up and proclaim their sense of power, and they are targeting, there's literal groups and threads of white supremacists saying how they are targeting minorities, black people specifically, how they want to come and shoot us all dead. And we know, we've seen countless, well, I have seen countless articles of blacks coming up being hung and killed. They're ruling it under suicide. I, for one, am black and know that the majority of us do not commit suicide through hanging. Normally, black people, for the most part, when they have a desire to finish their life, they normally just lead a destructive lifestyle. They still do not actually, on their own, take their lives through any means. But when they do, it is not through a hanging. And then they're doing this publicly. Like, they're finding these bodies on bridges being hung and on trees. Black people are not doing that to ourselves. And I am black, so I know our mind frame. I know our history. I know our ideology. That is not it. So those are white supremacists who are targeting these black people. And it's been other cases and other ways where blacks are being targeted by white supremacists during this time. So they say this civil unrest, it's racial tensions, is also what they believe to be an increase for new gun owners, or more people buying guns, the spike in gun buys, which I would agree, that would definitely contribute to it. And also government tyranny, government neglect. We know that Trump, like right now, is sending law enforcement, or should I say an army, basically, some type of National Guard or some arm of the army, into Chicago and other places. Well, for minorities, it is cops and law enforcement who are our biggest threat right now as far as life, because white supremacy and the institution and systemic oppression we face every single day, but it's not a direct threat to our life as living or not, although it affects a large portion of our life as we live it. So, of course, that would increase for not just blacks, but even whites, as far as them understanding one of their rights that America's promised to them and their freedoms, an increase in firearms. So, I just wanted to come and speak with you guys that if you are not a gun owner, you definitely should think and consider it, due to the fact of where things are heading, and protecting yourself, protecting your loved ones, protecting your family. My first time ever firing a firearm, I actually was 13. It was a .357. And, I aimed it, I shot it. I felt no ways about it. I did not look at it as a weapon. I was not afraid of it or had any thought towards it. But as I had gotten older, I strayed away from guns because of all of the violence and beginning to understand that this is just a weapon created on the sole purpose of taking life, basically, harming a life at a minimum. So I have strayed away from it because I feel that only God has the right to decide when a person's life should end and how it should end. So I have strayed away from it, and then later I had to come to the understanding that it is sick and evil people out here. And you do need a firearm to protect yourself and others, because if there is a situation of you having to use a firearm to protect yourself and your loved ones, innocent people, from a evil person, then I would hope and pray that you had the means to be able to do so. Now, do I think that everything should be a shoot to kill situation? No. But I have felt and come to the conclusion that I myself should and do need a firearm, and I encourage others to have one. And my brother was a big step in that, because I have family, they are gun owners, they own guns, and they advocate for your right to have a firearm to defend and protect yourself and your loved one's family. And me being a single woman who lives alone with my child, and if you look at me, look, I dropped my water. I am literally 5'1" and about 120 pounds. And I look like a child, and I notice aggression from men. I have noticed how men will prey on women, especially if they feel they are defenseless, and if they feel that they are young and naive. And even with my gray hairs, I still come off as being younger than I actually am, which is still sad. I mean, it doesn't matter the age of a woman. No man should be displaying predatory or aggressive and hostile behavior towards a woman. But I have experienced that from men trying to ask for my number, or should I say demand my number, and me rejecting that, and them behaving a certain way, and all kind of stuff. I live with just me and my son. I live in an apartment, but it's only a 2-unit apartment. People have tried to break in. My car has tried to be stolen. Like, just so much going on in the world that I was like, you know what? No. I understand why people should have a firearm. If the bad guys, evil people, have a firearm, then good people need to have one too. And guess what? No law that you create will stop criminals from having a weapon. So I looked at that when they were talking about disarming and regulating lawfully people from lawfully having weapons. I was like, no, that doesn't really make sense, depending on how they do it, due to the fact that criminals will have guns and weapons and will commit crimes no matter what laws are on the books. They're criminals. They're not following rules or laws, people. So I had thought about that. And I had decided, no, I should have a firearm to defend myself and my child, my home, the innocent. And my brother, he helped me in that process. He took me, actually, because I did purchase a firearm. Like I said, I'm part of that 40% that just went new and first-time gun owners who went and purchased a firearm. And I bought a Ruger LC9, which is a 9mm. As you see, I have the substitute dummy clip in the firearm. You are supposed to keep the firearm, because my brother told me, like, no, you read that book front to back, you take your classes, which I've done all of that. I have the lock and all of that. I keep my bullets separate, because in that book it lets you know that you are to keep your firearm, especially if you have children. Keep your firearm in a protected place, and you keep your bullets separate from that in a protected place. So I follow those rules, and actually at this moment in time, my son doesn't even know I have a firearm. I am waiting to have that conversation with him, because I had prayed about it before I even bought it. I went to God and I just prayed about this situation, because it is something heavy, it is something big, it is something that you should not take lightly, that you should take care of. So I made sure that I went and spoke with God about it, making sure that He protect us, cover us, and that everything is okay. So I do believe that parents should have a conversation with their children, but since I was not settled in myself right now, I felt I should do nothing before I talk with him about this. So at this time, he isn't aware. I know the children do go and shoot firearms and are educated about it, and I feel like that's a good thing.